Whenever you are ready, Hayden, you may begin.
We've all had a class that is simply boring. Nothing could get us to do anything in it, and when we did, it was half-assed. But for some of us, we found something in class that piqued our interest, gave an entire new light to it. Hence why I'm paying tribute to the printing press. And I simply love the printing press because of how much it did for me with how little I actually studied it. And I'm going to start this by, I'm going to start with a little bit about its interesting origin story. I'm going to move on to the opportunities it gave peasants and why I like that. And a deep respect for the arts that it gave me. So I'm going to start with its origin story. And for a little bit of context, in my European history class, I had one less required history class, which was my European history class. I was dragging out everything, trying to get extensions on everything, because I had no motivation to do any of it. And it was kind of sad to see how much my love for history changed through the course of that 1 year. But one day, I read about the printing press, more specifically about its origin. Long story short, the idea for it was stolen from the Chinese. And something clicked. I enjoyed that. And from that point on, I simply was continued to be interested in everything that the teacher said, everything about it, although I did not do very well in the class itself. And I only have the printing press to thank for it, and a few pages in the textbook that talked about blah, 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 yada, yada. It did all this stuff. Now, from its origin to what it actually did, it gave opportunities to the peasants. So, it gave opportunity to the peasants, and I simply just love that idea. It fills me with joy, for whatever reason. Thank you. It gave peasants the opportunity to start learning how to read, and later, as in much, much later, it gave them the opportunity to learn more advanced topics. And I just love that. It was a good motivator, I should say, compared to teachers who simply demanded that I do all this stuff so that I can go off to college and then pay off debt for my entire life. So, oh yeah. Sorry. And I just love the idea that one small thing gave a major increase to the intelligence of pretty much all the peasants in this area of Europe, while school really did nothing to do that because people couldn't afford to get in. And from the opportunities to something more personal, how it gave me a respect for the arts. And the printing press gave me a deep respect from the arts, especially when it came to seeing how it was done before and directly after. So, printing press made everything quite a bit quicker. So when the monks took years to finish a minuscule amount of work, and I like how much effort that they put into all this stuff, and for good reason. It looks damn good. I mean, compared to what we do now, which is 12-point Roman, whatever it was, double spacing, I don't know. It just made me appreciate their effort, you know, especially calligraphy. So you see my handwriting, you can't read it, I can't read it. Yet you read everything that they can do and it looks beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Especially some of the extra art that they put on all the sides. And if they took that much time, yeah, it makes sense that it looks good. And then seeing through this, I became very envious of all the people who could sit down for hours at a time and draw a single thing, just one picture, while all of my art consists of Googling something and then pasting it onto one page to try and make something that looks like art. So, I've kind of talked about the opportunities that it gave peasants, its interesting origin story, and kind of how it gave me a deep respect for the arts. So, appreciate, you know, the weird things, the small things, because it might just be a great motivator for you in a time of need, or they might frustrate you to absolutely no end because it doesn't work.